Hey everybody, Flare and Payne here. We're going to be heading into another Ixalan draft, and we're checking out the pack now as it's popped up. We've got the Skin Shifter. Pretty weird card. It can become a copy of another attacking creature. Pretty strange. I don't know if I like it or not. I like the Ranging Raptors okay. Pretty good at getting you extra lands out there. Pretty good for dinosaurs. Vine Shaper Mystic's a good card for Merfolk, but it's really only good in that deck. We got Dire Fleet Hoarder, he's fine. Fathom Fleet Cutthroat is okay. The Wayfinder is okay. The Knight's okay. Nothing too exciting in this pack. I think the Ranging Raptors and the Skin Shifter are the best cards in here. You can also take the Vine Shaper Mystic if you think you're going to end up in Merfolk. The card's pretty strong if you are in Merfolk. I think the Ranging Raptors might be the play here, just grabbing them up though. I think that might be the best call. None of these other cards are that strong in their respective decks, so I think we're going to grab the Raptors. Alright, so they took the rare out of this pack. Pretty unclear where they are. We could take Lightning Strike here. It's a pretty good card, and Red-Green Dinosaurs is a deck, and we've already got the Ranging Raptors. That seems reasonable. There's also the Steadfast Armor Sore. It's pretty strong. Alright. Lightning Strike's pretty good. We could also take Air Elemental as well. But then we're in, Dinosaur Elemental Blue-Green, not Merfolk Blue-Green, but it wouldn't be the worst in the world to be there. I think we're going to go ahead and take the Lightning Strike, though. It feels like that's the best card to take here. Alright. So we've got this Knight. He's fine in this deck that we started to construct here. Hammer Skull's a really good card, but it's white. It's going to put us into a third color. If we can avoid that, that'd be great. Siren Lookout's a nice pirate. And we've got the Ixalan Archer, who can deal 1 damage to something when it comes in. So I think we're going to... Now he can fight our Raptor, which is kind of cool. Kind of a little bit of a baby combo there. It does have reach too. It's not the worst card, I guess. We could take that instead of the Knight. I think I want to take the Knight, though. As long as we control a dinosaur, we'll get +1/+1. I think I'm going to grab him. The dinosaur deck needs some 2-drops in it, and there aren't that many ones that are good for the dinosaur deck, but this guy is, so... Alright, here's a pretty weak pack for us. We don't really have anything too exciting to take from this pack. We can, I guess, take the Raptor Companion in case we end up in the red-white version of the dinosaur deck. We could also take Vanquish the Weak because it's just a good card. It's just stronger than the rest of this pack. And actually, a fourth pick, Vanquish the Weak, might actually be a signal that black might be open. The Knave's actually a decent card too. Yeah, and this guy actually. So let's go ahead and take the Vanquish the Weak since it looks like black's open, and maybe we'll end up being a slightly different deck than we thought, just because Vanquish the Weak's pretty powerful and it shouldn't be here this late probably. Alright, we got another Vanquish the Weak. I think we're going to have to take that. The Archer combos with the Ranging Raptor a little bit, but double Vanquish the Weak for pick 4 and 5 means that people probably are not playing black. Alright, so we've got some options here. I'm not actually sure what we should take here. We're going to play those two Vanquish the Weeps almost no matter what. Commune, Jade Guardian, Colossal Guy. Queen's Commission actually seems like it might be the pick, or Windstrider, but they're both just putting us in a fourth color. I think... Man, it's hard to know what to do in this situation. I think we're going to take the Windstrider. Really not sure what I was supposed to take there. Alright, so since we see another Queen's Commission, that might have been a good choice, but I'm going to go ahead and grab the Skittering Heartstopper now. The color that I'm most sure we're going to play right now is black, just because we got those really late picks. Oh, we've also got the Siren Lookout. I didn't even see that. That's a pretty sweet card, and it's a pretty late one for the Siren Lookout. It's pretty good blue common there. Then again, we may not end up on blue. I kind of want the Skittering Heartstopper, I think, since we are going to play the black. Alright, we're going to take the Sky March Bloodletter here. So the Ruse is okay if we end up in the Pirate deck, which it looks like we might be trending toward. The rest of these cards are actually pretty bad. I think we are going to take the Ruse here. Costly Plunder, Nest Robber, Skyblade. I don't think we have anything that really wants us to take Costly Plunder. I really hate this card. The Nest Robber's okay, but we're looking like we're more and more in black. Black, white, and black, red, and black, blue are all supported. I think we're going to take the Skyblade here. We could take the Nest Robber. Let's just take the Nest Robber. Let's try to stay out of the one color we don't have cards in white. Here, I really don't want to take the Sentries. Really don't like this card very much. I don't really like this card too much either, though. It's possible we'll board this in the right matchup, throw it in the board. Alright, Blightkeeper's not a terrible card to grab here. 1/1 flyer. It's going to hit for 1 a bunch of times probably, and it does turn on Raid. We'll take this land, I guess. And there's a Ryle for us. There's a Blinding Fog last pick. So right now we're probably looking at black-red maybe? Kind of strange, since we don't really have any pirates. There's Hostage Taker. This card's pretty good, dang good. We might have to take this. We could also take the Dire Fleet Captain there. Stealing a guy and then being able to cast it's really powerful, though. We're probably going to have to take the Hostage Taker. Dire Fleet Captain again, pretty strong. And then we've also got the Bloodletter as well. But I think we've got to take the Hostage Taker. It's just a really strong card. Alright, we're going to go ahead and grab the Hostage Taker. Oh man, there's another Dire Fleet Captain. If we knew we could have two, we might have made a different choice. What does this do? This is mill. Okay, this is a mill card, so we're gonna not worry about that one. Lightning Rig Crew is actually pretty interesting. I kind of like it in the pirate deck. It's pretty cool, but I think I want to take the Siren Lookout here, especially because we're looking at possibly playing black and blue for our strongest cards, and Siren Lookout goes there. Settled Wreckage is a pretty good card too, but we're not going to go into white in our situation right now. We're going to need to make sure we get enough playables to be able to even really feel the deck. Let's go ahead and grab this Siren Lookout. There was also the Arrest in that pack, or the quick check on this. Okay. This is also the what's it called? Pious Interdiction, which is creature can't attack or block, and then you gain 2 life. It's not actually Arrest; it's actually Pacifism. That card's fine, and I'd often consider taking that one. But in this situation, I didn't really feel like it was warranted. We've got an Air Elemental there. That's pretty sweet. So unless we get something quite a bit better, we're probably going to take that. Yeah, so we've got one with the wind. It's a fine card. We've got some flyers already, though. An Air Elemental is just pretty sweet, even though it's not one of the relevant creature types in this set. It's just a pretty good card. This card's been around since Alpha, and it's just been good every time it's been printed in Limited. Alright. We've got Desperate Castaways here. We've got the Lightning Rig Crew if we want it. We've got Perilous Voyage. This is a pretty good card. This is probably just much better in this format than it normally is, since sometimes people have temporary mana due to the treasures. Yeah, I think I'm fine with taking Perilous Voyage here. Lightning Rig Crew is a good card. I'm not 100% we're going to play red, though. Maybe we should take the Lightning Rig Crew, actually. Let's think about this for a second. We're kind of forcing someone into red pirates if we don't take it. I think we're just going to take the Perilous Voyage. Alright, let's take a look at what we've got here. We've got the Ruthless Knave, which is pretty sweet. We've got Anointed Deacons, okay. We've got the Shipwreck Looter. I'm a pretty big fan of him. And we could use some 2-drops. Yeah, I think we're going to take the Looter, actually, even though I do think the Knave's better. We need some 2-drops, and we're middle of pack 2 right now. Man, we could have had so many of these. There's a ton of these running around. Alright, so Sailor of Means. How bad do we want this? I don't know if we really want it at all. I guess we do. Does help get us up to our Windstrider and our Air Elemental. I almost want to take the Dire Fleet Captain now, but I don't think that's right. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the Sailor Remains, I guess. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know if I'm even going to play the Sailor Remains necessarily. I think I'm just going to take the Dire Fleet Captain. I probably won't play it, but we'll go ahead and grab it for now. If those other two tables somehow magically, I'll be really glad that I took this one. I don't think that's a likely scenario, but it's not impossible. Alright, so we've got a Sure Strike in here. That's not really where we are. We got Wind Strider, which we might want to take, or the Siren's Ruse. I think we're going to take the Wind Strider here. Siren's Ruse is pretty dang sweet with the pirates, though. But we just don't have that many. We don't actually have that many pirates, even though we're in the black-blue. Right, Water Trap Weaver is a card that's pretty much always fine. Blood Crazed Paladin is interesting. I don't think it's a very good card. I'm not sure how you're supposed to really make it work, but it's a 1/1 with Flash, basically, Vampire Knight, and sometimes it'll be a 2/2 or 3/3. We're gonna take Water Trap Weaver here, I think. And we're going to take Skymarch Bloodletter right here. That looks good. So these are coming out. We're going to need to get some more 2s in this last pack here. So we're functionally at 15 cards that we're okay to play here. And 3 of those that are coming out are creatures, so we've only got 11 dudes. Let's go ahead and pull those out and put them in the sideboard for right now. And that Lightning Strike's a card we actually could consider playing. But for right now, let's plan on not playing it, and let's see if we can fill our deck in with 8 more playables or so before the end of this draft. And we do have an issue here at the 2. We've got 3 spells, but only a single one is a creature, so we need some more 2-drop creatures. I really don't like this pack here. We're going to take the Rummaging Goblin in case we decide to play the red, but I don't think we're going to be playing the red. I just really am not a fan of the rest of those cards in that pack. This guy's a 1/2, and he's going to deal 1 extra the first time. He's probably pretty bad. Let's just take this rare. Maybe we can get maybe if we have 50 of those, we can get a tick or something. Alright, let's take this Lightning Rigging Crew. I don't think we're going to put the red in there, but maybe we'll end up having to. So these went pretty late in the first pack, and then we didn't really see that much black in the next pack, so I'm not exactly sure what to think at this stage. Perhaps we'll get really hit with a bunch of black in this last pack. Man, Queen's Commission going last, essentially, in the pack. It's pretty ridiculous. That card's pretty good. I don't understand why people are undervaluing it, outvaluing it so much. Alright, so we've got a Marauding Looter. This card's pretty awesome. It's a card we could consider here. We've got a Dire Fleet Hoarder. He's fine, and he's a 2-drop. We've got a Mark of the Vampire, which is pretty good in this format, especially with the flyers. We've got some flyers. It might be good with those. We've got Run Aground, which is a good card. Water Trap Weaver is fine. I think we could take this. It's the best card of these cards. But then we're going to be splashing, and we may not want to splash. Another option we have is to just take the Hoarder. It's the most conservative play, is just to grab this. That might be the best play, actually. And looking around, I think it actually is. We've got a lot of options. Like the Mark is a good card, and the Run Aground's a good card. This card's a little gamblier than I like to play, but it's still good. Water Trap Weaver's fine too, but we're probably going to table one of these 3 cards. I think we're going to go ahead and take the 2-drop so we can actually, give ourselves some things to cast in the early game. Alright, looking over this pack, we've got the Deadeye Tormentor. He's decent. Depths of Desire is pretty good. A bounce, and we're going to get a treasure. And then also Mark of the Vampire. Any of those cards are decent here. I think I want to take the Tormentor, but let me look this over. Maybe I'll do something a little different than that. So what are our non-creature spells? We got a bounce spell. We've got a flicker spell. We've got to vanquish the weaks. Okay, so we could pick up that Depths of Desire if we wanted, or the Mark of the Vampire if we wanted. We've got 3 flyers for 2 mana. Sorry, for 3 mana rather. All those are good targets for the Mark, and we've got 3 more flyers for 5 mana, also good targets for the Mark. I think we're actually going to take the Mark. These 2 cards are both better than the Mark, but I think we're going to need at least one of these in our deck, and if we don't table one of them, we're going to end up in a situation where we don't have a lot of ways to pound things through. I kind of want to take the Mark here, and we're going to go ahead and grab it. Alright, so Storm Sculptor is a pretty sweet card. We don't really have a bunch of Merfolk to go with it, but it's not a bad card in general anyways. We have a couple guys who do something when they come in, so that's not the worst. Like this guy who explores is pretty good. Got actually quite a few guys that can benefit from the Storm Sculptor pulling them back. We also have an option to take another Dire Fleet Hoarder, which is good because we can cast it in the early game. We could also take a Prying Blade, which isn't bad in this deck either. There's also an argument to be made to take the Fiery Cannonade and splash it. But I think, for me, it's between the Dire Fleet Hoarder and the Storm Sculptor. And I kind of want to take the Storm Sculptor, really. I think it's a pretty powerful card. I think we're going to take it. Hoping to get another Dire Fleet Hoarder or something similar. But it's not so irreplaceable. This card's unblockable, so it's pretty good. And its ability to return a creature won't even necessarily be a drawback in our deck. It may be to our advantage. Alright, we've got another Skittering Heartstopper. I think we're going to grab him. It's just another way to enable raid. We didn't end up with that many raid cards, but being able to swing every turn is pretty good just in general. And there's a few cards that we have that are going to want the raid, and we may end up with a couple more. Actually, and by a few, I think I just mean only Shipwreck Looter, actually. I think that's the only one. That's kind of lame. Alright, we do have another Blight Keeper, which we could take here. We could also take a Wind Strider, but we've got 3 5s already, and that's probably as many as we want. Run Aground is a good card. I think we may want Run Aground. Blight Keeper is fine, though. Maybe we just take the Blight Keeper here. We could use a combat trick pretty badly. Yeah, I think we're just going to take the one Run Aground, actually. Let's take the Run Aground. Here we've got Deadeye Tormentor or Pirate's Prize, which just draw 2 cards. I think we're going to take the Tormentor. Get a second raid card there. Windstrider would be okay here. Also, the Queen's Bay Soldier is okay here. We're going to take the Queen's Bay Soldier, I think. There's another Skittering Heartstopper. We don't really need that. We could take a Skullduggery, so we have a little bit of a combat trick there. That sounds good. Here's a Mark of the Vamp. We can throw that in. We've got some flyers for that to go on. That should be fine. Probably going to have to cut 1 card from this because we're not going to want to play so many cards probably. Never know when we're going to need to splash an expensive card like that in. I don't think we're going to play this guy in the main. Prying Blade, something we might want to throw in possibly. Probably one of the Windstriders is what we're going to bench here. This deck definitely doesn't look amazing. I wonder, could we get away with 24 with this? I think probably not. Probably need 17 lands in this guy. We've got 16 dudes, so we could cut a dude. Oh, there's another Blight Keeper. I kind of want to play that. The Blight Keepers are pretty ideal to be turning on the raid. But again, we really don't have a terrible amount of raid. We've only got a little bit. We've got a Run Aground and a Perilous Voyage that can kind of stagger our opponent, as well as the Water Trap Weaver. All those cards are decent at slowing them down a little bit. You know, it's possible we just don't care about playing a 2 as much as we care about playing a 1. We could keep our looter and our hoarder and just pitch our Queen's Bay soldier. I think that's okay to do. We can cut one more card here. And don't really want to cut another card, but I guess we're going to need to if we want to be able to play 17. If we cut a Windstrider, perhaps we could keep the 2/2. And we could just play... Yeah. What about this? Do we think we can run... Yeah, I kind of want to run 24, so let's do it. Let's run 24. We're gonna run one less island. Yeah, so take it down one for the island. And this looks pretty good. It's not a great deck by any means. We don't have a bunch of removal or anything. Identified that black seemed to be open here, but then there really wasn't very much of it. We did get the hostage taker, which is pretty good, but aside from that, we didn't really get paid on that signal. Except for the fact that we got the second Vanquish the Weak. But this deck could be okay. We've got some decent cards here. We decide to make some changes after game one, and a lot of these we'll see.